You know, I really didn't want to make this video, but I feel like it's time. Since I've been away from YouTube since November of last year, I've had a long time to sort things out and kind of think about my strategy moving forward. And I figured now would be the time to jump back in and share that with you guys. But before I do that, allow me to say, I hope everyone out there is doing well and hope everybody is safe and healthy because the world is so crazy and chaotic right now. I hope that you're all managing as best you can. And if by chance you were affected by some of the things that are going on, just know my heart goes out to you and yours, and I wish you nothing but peace, prosperity, and blessings moving forward. But back to what I was saying a minute ago about me really not wanting to make this video. I said that because I don't want this to come off as me offering up excuses for taking time off. But the truth of it is, I've always had a love and hate relationship with content creation and YouTube. And I think that last year it was pretty much half and half for the majority of the year. But going into the fall, I got a pretty consistent dose of the hate side of the spectrum, especially from mid-October into November. It was just overwhelming at that point, and I was just done. And just to clarify, I don't mean hate in terms of anything negative from people on YouTube or anything like that. I mean hate in terms of my relationship with YouTube and the content creation process. So for those of you who don't have YouTube channels and aren't in the content creation business, YouTube can be such an isolating experience. If you can for a minute, just think about how much time goes into producing a single piece of content. And I'll admit, when I first started, I was a little naive and I figured I'll just be in and out with it. I'll just be able to drop a quick video in 30 minutes and be done. Little did I know that's not quite the way that it works. Now, you can make a video in 30 minutes, but you may be sacrificing some quality there, well, at least in my experience. But back to my point, it takes me about 5 to 6 or 7 hours sometimes to produce a video that I'm confident enough to say that it's good quality. And again, that's just my process. So when you factor that in with me still working a full-time career outside of YouTube, combined with my responsibilities as a husband, you know, something's gotta give. And I'm not even sure I told you guys about that. Your boy got married back in 2018. I know I like to keep my private life off the internet as much as possible, so there's a pretty good chance that I didn't make that announcement a couple of years ago. But it doesn't matter too much because that is a public record after all, so it is what it is. Now, let's look back at 2017 really quick at my Atlanta Falcons franchise. I think I made about 120 something videos in that series. That was like my true moment of arrival on YouTube, if that makes any sense. That year I crossed the 10,000 subscriber threshold, and that's what gave me the confidence to actually believe that I belonged on this platform. Now, it was also around that time that two things happened that I wasn't quite mentally prepared for. The first thing is my YouTube channel seemed to take on a life of its own and transition from a hobby into a business. And then later that year, I had to deal with my first episode of creative burnout. Now, up to this point, and this is kind of bringing me back to my love and hate relationship with YouTube, content creation was all fun and games, literally. Much like a lot of you, every season I go out and buy the newest Madden, hop right into franchise mode and play about 10 to 15 seasons, and then I do it all over again. It was just having a good time with it. That's all it was about. I just so happened to be making YouTube videos about it. Now, like I said, around the 10,000 subscriber mark, the channel starts gaining traction, vendors start reaching out with potential business opportunities, and I'm making a little money. Not life-altering money, but I'm making some money at that point. Mind you, when I started YouTube, it wasn't for the content creation business. It wasn't about trying to make money or anything. It was all about being creative and putting videos out there that hopefully somebody would enjoy one day, right? But when the business transition happened, it wiped away a lot of the positives that I liked about the process. And I'm sure a lot of other content creators will agree with what I'm about to say. And that's that at some point, content creation goes from a fun means of creative expression to work. It becomes your job every single video to meet the demand set forth by your subscriber base. And in order to meet that demand, for me, sometimes it meant staying up until 2:30 in the morning, or even waking up early at 5 a.m. or so, trying to push through and record that last little bit of commentary I couldn't finish the night before. And that type of workload and pressure is just completely unsustainable, not to mention how unhealthy it is. So I chose selfishly and put my health and my sanity over your consumption of free content on this platform. And you know what? It was the absolute 100% correct decision. It gave me not only the time I needed to recover physically and mentally, but it gave me the time to sit back and analyze why I'm not receiving the level of success that I should be. And trust me, I've got at least a dozen theories on that, but I'm going to keep that private. Just know that I'm going to be working through those over the course of the next couple of years. Now, the last thing I want to say about my hiatus, and I probably should have led with this, but I completely dropped the ball in terms of managing the way that I left. I'll admit that, and I'll own it because it sends the message to you guys that I don't care, and that's not the case at all. I am honored and humbled that 15,000 of you guys, well, probably less now because I'm pretty sure I lost a few over the last 6 months. But however many of you there actually are, just know that I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Now, what does that bring us today? Or more importantly, what are the plans for the future? In about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even the weekend of July 4th, I'm going to start uploading videos again to the channel. And the reason it's going to take so long for me to post is because I'm currently engaged in 2 separate business obligations that'll take probably to the end of the month in order to wrap up. So when I do return, I want to make sure that I don't have any other time-sensitive projects that are pending at that moment, because I really want to be able to focus in on YouTube. And on that date, whenever it may be, it will officially start the clock on a 2-year window that I've given myself to achieve one of my major milestones. And there's really no need to be secretive about it or anything. I plan on hitting 100,000 subscribers by 2022. And I hope that you're right there with me along this journey, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the process. And fam, let me tell you one thing before I let you guys get out of here. A lot has changed for me mentally over the last 6 months, and that's why I feel that I'm better prepared this time around to handle everything that I said earlier in the video. And the reason I believe that is because I no longer approach anything with a defeated mind state. I know that I'll probably lose a lot of you guys if I haven't already, but if you're still here, I just want to add some quick value to this video and also to your lives. The next time you approach a scenario, whether it's giving that big presentation or taking an exam in class or a job interview, or even better yet, finally going up to approach that girl that you've been staring at for the last 15 minutes from across the room. If you approach each of those scenarios with the winner's mentality, believing that you've already won, just watch what happens. And I think I'll leave it there because I can really go on all day about this kind of stuff. Anyways, you guys, that's all the time I've got for this video. So until next time, have faith, be humble, and stay inspired.